Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you again. Today I will touch the topics of the concept of multicultural um, under the Malaysian Studies and Culture. So, the multicultural is the coexistence of diverse cultures, where culture includes racial, religious, cultural groups, and is manifested in customary behaviors, cultural assumptions and values, patterns of thinking, and communicative styles. So, Malaysia, the concept of multicultural in Malaysia diverse. Okay, Malaysia is a multicultural society of which the population is made up by different types of ethnic groups. And as we all know that Malays form the largest numbers of populations, followed by Chinese, Indian, and also the native Sabah and Sarawak. And in fact, different ethnic groups have their own history, culture, belief systems, value, and also languages. So Malaysia is a diverse nation, and this multicultural fabrics contributes to Malaysia's rich tapestry and fostering a dynamic society where different traditions coexist. The interactions between these ethnic groups have shaped Malaysia's social landscape, creating a harmonious yet distinct blend of cultures within the country. And we look at the largest numbers of populations in Malaysia. It's the Malays. Okay, the Malays, the religions of generally religious for the Malays in Malaysia are Muslim. The Malay people in Malaysia predominantly practice Islam. So Islam plays a central role in shaping Malay culture, influencing not only religious practices but also social norms and customs. And the Malays use their Malay language, we call it Bahasa Melayu, or as known as Bahasa Malaysia, the language for the nations. And they have a dialect. Okay, every state in Malaysia, they have a little bit difference of a spoken language. We call it dialect. So the Malay language serves as a unifying factor among Malaysians of various ethnic backgrounds, fostering communications and a shared national identity. The script used for the Malay language is Jawi, which is an adapted Arab script, although the Latin alphabet is more commonly used in modern contexts. Overall, the intertwined elements of language and religion contribute significantly to the distinct identity of the Malay community in Malaysia. We go to the Chinese, the second largest populations in Malaysia. Their religions normally is Buddhism and Confucianism, Taoism, Christians, and also Islam. Okay, that's from the Chinese in Malaysia as their practice, their religions. Buddhism practiced by a significant portion of the Chinese. The Buddhism involves teachings attributed to the Siddhartha Gautama, emphasizing principles like compassion and mindfulness. Confucianism, although not a formal religion, Confucianism greatly influenced Chinese culture, emphasizing ethics, morality, and social harmony. The Taoism, another prominent Chinese belief in Malaysia. Taoism focuses on living in harmony with the Tao, often involving rituals, ancestor venerations, and seeking balance in life. The Christianity, some Chinese Malaysians practice Christianity, with various denominations present. This reflects the diverse religious landscape within the Chinese community in Malaysia. While predominantly associated with the Malay community, some Chinese of Malaysians also follow Islam, showcasing the religious diversity within the broader Malaysia population. And the Chinese, most of the Chinese in Malaysia using the Cantonese and also Mandarin as a spoken language, daily spoken language. Mandarin, the most widely spoken Chinese language in Malaysia, is used in education, business, and daily communication. It serves as a common language among Chinese Malaysians and is one of the official languages to the country. The Cantonese, another Chinese dialect spoken by a significant portion of the Chinese community in Malaysia, especially in social and cultural settings. The other Chinese dialects beyond Mandarin and Cantonese, various Chinese dialects such as Hokkien, Hakka, Teochew are spoken among specific communities, reflecting the diverse linguistic heritage of the Chinese in Malaysia. And for the Indians, their religions generally are Hindus. They have also Sikhism, Christian, and also Islam. Hinduism practiced by a significant portion of the Indian community in Malaysia. Hinduism involves devotions to various deities and follows sacred texts like the Vedas and Upanishads. Sikhism, Sikhs in Malaysia adhere to the tenets of Sikhism, a monotheistic religion founded by Guru Nanak, emphasizing equality, justice, and community services. Some individuals within the Indian community in Malaysia also practice Christianity, representing various denominations. While the majority of Malays are Muslim, a significant numbers of Malaysians of Indian descent also follow Islam, contributing to the religious diversity in the country. Generally, the Indians will speak Tamil, but most of them are speaking English and also the Malay language. The Tamil primary language is a primary language for many Malaysians of Indian origins. Tamil is spoken and used in cultural practices, literature, and daily communication. The Malay language or Bahasa Malaysia is one of the official language of Malaysia and widely spoken across ethnic groups, including among Malaysians of Indian descent. English is also commonly used, especially in education, business, and official communications. It serves as a bridge language among different ethnic communities in Malaysia. The indigenous people or orang asli in Malaysia, they have a group of Negrito, Senoi, and Malay Proto. The Negrito is one of the indigenous groups in Malaysia, are characterized by their distinct physical features and have their unique culture, practices, and traditions. The Senoi and other indigenous groups, the Sonoy people have their own cultural heritage, often associated with agriculture, weaving, and hunting. The Malay Proto, this term typically refers to the Malay ethnic groups, which is the largest ethnic group in Malaysia. Malays have played a significant role in shaping the country's culture, history, and society norms. And the religions of the indigenous groups or the Orang Asli in Malaysia, normally they practice animism. Some of them Christians, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, Baha'i, and etc. The animism, some of the indigenous Orang Asli communities in Malaysia follow animistic beliefs, connecting spiritual to the elements in nature and ancestral spirits. The Christianity, a number of Orang Asli have embraced Christianity, reflecting the diverse religious landscape within these communities. Similar to the wider Malaysia populations, some of Orang Asli communities practice Islam, contributing to the religious diversity within the indigenous groups. Elements of Hinduism and Buddhism may be observed in Orang Asli communities, reflecting historical influences and cultural interactions. And the Baha'i faith has also found some followers among the Orang Asli, showcasing the openness to various religious beliefs within these communities. The language spoken by the Orang Asli is a Malay language, but they have their own Orang Asli language. While there isn't a single unified language, the Orang Asli communities may have their own language, which vary among different groups. Due to the historical and geographical factors, Malay is often used as a means of communication and interaction between different Orang Asli communities and with the wider Malaysian population. And daily spoken, they can speak Malay. And normally, with the dealing with the surrounding communities, they are using Bahasa Melayu or Malay language. The Sabahan form a group of Kadazan, Bajau, Murut, Malay Brunei, Suluk, and also Chinese. The indigenous to the Sabah, Kadazan or Dusun, the Kadazan people are known for their agricultural practices and vibrant cultural celebrations, such as the Harvest Festival or Pesta Keamatan. Normally, they have their Pesta Keamatan or Harvest Festival at the end of the May or the early of June. Bajau, another ethnic groups from Sabah, maintain their seafaring tradition, contributing to the coastal communities and cultural diversity of the region. The Murut, indigenous to Sabah interior, have strong connections to the nature, while cultural practices reflecting their historical reliance on agriculture and hunting. The Malay Brunei, representing Malays with ties to Brunei, this group adds to the diverse Malay community in Sabah. The Malay Brunei normally living in the coastal area of Sabah, and Suluk, with historical links to the southern Philippines, the Suluk community has a presence in Sabah, contributing to the state's cultural mosaic. And the Chinese community in Sabah, comprising various subgroups, significantly influence the cultural and economic landscapes. Okay, in Sabah, their religions are diverse. So, Islam embraced by the substantial portions of Sabah populations, including various ethnic groups contributing to the state's Islamic character. Normally, the Malay, Brunei population, they are 100% Islam, and some of the other population also embrace to Islam. Christianity representing different denominations. Christianity is practiced by individuals across diverse community in Sabah. Among the Chinese community, Buddhism adds to the religious diversity of Sabah, and others indigenous spiritual practices and diverse belief systems contribute to the rich religious tapestry of Sabah. In Sabah, they have their own dialect or language. A North Bornean, Sama, Bajau, Malay, and Philippines. The North Bornean referring to the indigenous language spoken in North Borneo include those of the Kadazan and Murut people. Sama Bajau spoken by the Bajau people, particularly those engaged in maritime activities along Sabah coast. The Bahasa Malaysia or Malay language widely spoken and served as a unifying language among the diverse ethnic groups in Sabah. And Philippines reflecting linguistic connections and influences, especially in communities like the Suluk with historical ties to the southern Philippines. The Sarawakian in Malaysia, the Iban, the Malay, the Melanau, Chinese, Bidayo, and Orang Ulu form a group of people who lives in Sarawak. Okay, Iban, known for their distinctive long houses and rich cultural traditions. The Iban peoples are a prominent indigenous group in Sarawak, engaging in agriculture and long established customs. The Malays, as a part of a broader Malay community, the Malay in Sarawak contributes to the cultural diversity of the state. The Melanau, with a coastal heritage, the Melanau people in Sarawak have their unique cultural identity, including the traditional boat-making skills. And Chinese community in Sarawak with the diverse subgroups plays a significant roles in the state's economic and cultural spheres. While the Bidayo, known as a Land Dayak, are indigenous to Sarawak and are recognized for their hospitality and agricultural practices. The Orang Ulu, encompassing various indigenous groups like the Kayan, Kenyah, and Lun Bawang. The Orang Ulu contribute distinct cultural elements, including intricate wood carvings and traditional music. And the religions in Sarawak are diverse. The widely practiced among various group ethnics in Sarawak is Christianity, including the Ibans, Bidayo, and Orang Ulu communities. Islam embraced by Malays and some of other communities, contributing to the religious diversity of Sarawak. While the Hinduism and Buddhism also practiced by the some individuals in Sarawak. Baha'i, representing a small but diverse religious community, Baha'i faith is present in Sarawak. And some indigenous groups in Sarawak still continue their practice with the traditional animistic beliefs, connecting spirituality with nature and ancestral spirits. We go to the cultures and or the customs. For the Malays, the culture of Malaysia draws on the varied cultures of the different people in Malaysia. The first people to live in the area were indigenous tribes that still remained. They were followed by the Malays who moved there from mainland Asia in ancient time. The Malays form a significant part of Malaysia's populations, shaping the nation's cultural identity. The Malay language, as known as the national language or Bahasa Malaysia, fostering unity among diverse ethnic groups in Malaysia. While the Islamic heritage predominantly Muslims, Malays have deeply influenced Malaysia's Islamic character. And artistic traditions, the Malay contribute to the vibrant art scenes with traditional dance, crafts, and rich culinary delights. In summary, the Malays are a foundational and dynamic component of Malaysia's cultural fabric, contributing to the diverse and multicultural nature of the nation. Their historical roots, language, customs, and artistic expressions continue to shape Malaysia's identity in the contemporary context. In the Malay society, when a woman is pregnant, this is birth, okay? Several ceremonies, practices, and taboos have to be carried out so that they can both be healthy and protected from all kinds of misfortunes. The Malays believe that a happy pregnant woman will give birth to a happy, healthy baby. Among the ceremonies and rituals to be carried out during pregnancy are as follows. The book to the midwife or the menempah bidan. Touch the stomach or menyentuh perut, roll the stomach or melenggang perut, bath the stomach, the mandi melenggang perut, consult the spirits or menghadap semangat, and after birth they have to shave the baby's the baby head shave. Okay, we call it potong jambul. And for the marriage, in the Malay cultures, they have the visit and observe ceremony or the marisik, meminang and bertunang or proposal and engagement. They have akad nikah or solemnization, majlis persandingan or the enthronement ceremony or wedding ceremony. That's for the Malay culture. And for the death, the three main processes involved in Muslim funerals are: number one is washing and surround the body of the deceased. Number two is performing the funeral prayer. And number three is the burial process. Some Malay families organize a tahlil on the 3rd, 7th, and 40th and 100th day after the funeral. And for the Chinese came to Malaysia from China land in the mid of 19th century, as they were not happy under the rule of Manchu dynasty, and many came as indentured laborers and craftsmen seeking for better life. So most of them came alone, leaving their families behind in China. They hope to get higher wages to send back to China, or if possible to bring their families to Malaya later. In the Chinese community, in the birth, Chinese observe certain taboos during pregnancy. For example, in the pregnant woman's bedroom, furniture should not be removed, especially the bed. It is also forbidden to nail anything on the wall. For the marriage, in the Chinese community, the choosing the right date and time for the wedding is extremely important. So the day and date is important. Usually, there are 3 ceremonies to be held in a Chinese marriage. The civil marriage, whereby the couple register their marriage legally. A tea ceremony, whereby the couple serve tea to their parents and other older relatives as a sign of respect and an opportunity to know each other. And dinner reception, whereby relatives and friends are invited. Normally, the civil marriage and tea ceremony are only attended by the close relatives. Guests who are invited to a Chinese wedding should wear clothes in bright colors, preferably red, while black color must be avoided. Guests must congratulate and wish the newlywed couple with good words that imply joy and happiness. And in the death ceremony, the guests should not wear colorful clothes when visited the bereaved family or attending the funeral. Colors like black and gray are more suitable. The guests will usually bring wreaths or give some donations, money, to the bereaved family in return. They will receive some sweets tied with red strings. These sweets can be eaten. Some organizations will bring banners filled with words that mourn the loss of a friend. In the Indian community, Indians practice various types of greetings. Commonest way being to put both palms together and lifting them up to the chest. While this is done, the words are greeted such as Vanakkam, Namaste, Sastrigal. The Vanakkam is for Tamil, Namaste is Hindi, and Sastrigal is for Sikh community. For the birth in Indian community, on the child's birth, the father will inform relative and friends either verbally or by a letter. The family is not considered holy or cleaned for a period of 16 days after the baby's birth. A ceremony will be held on the 16th day to formalize the naming of the child. On the day, the house and cradle would be decorated and a special meal prepared for the guests. The name of the child's usually chosen carefully after referring to the Hindu calendar and determining the zodiac to the birth. The name of the baby will start with a letter that is compatible to the star. While naming the baby, the older relatives will take turns to hold the baby while songs are being sung by womenfolk. Relatives will usually give bracelets and anklets. On the suitable day, example on the 30th day, the baby will be taken to the temple where a ceremony for giving thanks will be held. In the Indian community, for the marriage, the spouse hunting is one of the character. The spouse hunting and looking for love, seeing the match, the fortune telling, wedding date, nichaya tartam, engagement, and finally the weddings. In the death, Hindus believes in reincarnation. That is, the physical body dies, but the soul continues to live and is reborn to another life. Cremation is preferred options as Hindus believe that this will allow the soul of the deceased to escape from the body, thus allowing reincarnation to take place. The next is the National Cultural Policy of Malaysia. The National Cultural Policy of Malaysia serves as a guideline for designing, establishing, and sustaining a national identity that sets Malaysians apart from the rest of the world. The objective of the National Cultural Policy of Malaysia is to strengthen national unity through culture. And number 2 is to nurture and adopt a national identity through national culture. And number 3 is to enrich and enhance the quality of life and the spiritual well-being of people in Malaysia. The important aspects in the formation of the National Culture Policy of Malaysia is, the first one is based on the indigenous culture of the regions. The regions mean the Malaysia, the ASEAN countries. Suitable elements from other cultures may be accepted. And then number 3, Islam is an important component in the formulations of the national culture. So the implementation of the National Cultural Policy of Malaysia is restored to preserve and develop the cultures through the joint research, development, education, and cross-culture relations, and to increase and strengthen the cultural leaderships through guidance and training of interested individuals, and to establish effective means of communications to promote national awareness, nationhood, and also the nationalisms, and also to fulfill the socio-cultural needs of the populations, and to improve the standard and quality of the arts in Malaysia. So that's all about the National Cultural Policy of Malaysia, and that's conclude our chapter 7 lecture for today. See you again in the next lecture. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.